Before we jump in, family, I'm really close to hitting 4,000 subscribers and I'd love your help. If you enjoy these stories, rewrites, or breakdowns, please take a second to subscribe. It means more than you know. She gave me her final ultimatum about intimacy. Her voice so cold it felt like it could freeze the entire room. Daniel, if you keep pushing, this will be the last time I ever. She never finished the sentence. She didn't have to. I'd heard that threat in different forms more times than I could count. But this time nothing inside me shattered. Something in me simply settled. I let out a long breath and offered a small, steady smile, the kind a man gives only after years of swallowing quiet pain. All right, I said, my tone low and calm. I'm okay without it. It wasn't rebellion. It wasn't pride. It was survival. The last thing left to hold on to in a marriage where intimacy had dried up one drop at a time. Claire hadn't always been like this. She used to be warm, lively, affectionate. But as the years passed, all that softness faded into flat disinterest, as if she were moving through life on autopilot and our relationship had become background noise she no longer noticed. I tried. God knows I tried. Touches, surprises, deep talks, date nights, staying up late hoping for some spark. But every attempt ended the same. An exhausted sigh, a shrug, a distant stare that drifted anywhere except toward us. The night everything shifted wasn't dramatic. Just a quiet evening at home. Nothing special. I walked toward her hoping for even a small moment of closeness, something to reassure me we were more than two people sharing a mailbox. Instead, she drew her line clear, final, permanent. And for the first time, I didn't try to cross it. For weeks before that moment, I had already been drifting inward, pulling back emotionally, not out of anger, but out of acceptance. Something between us had died, and I was the only one who had bothered to grieve it. Once I stopped resisting that truth, a strange calm washed over me. I stopped counting the nights she rolled away, stopped noticing how many meals passed in silence, stopped trying to pry affection from someone who guarded it like a locked vault. Instead, I poured my time into myself, my work, my friends, the hobbies I'd abandoned while trying to keep us afloat. I laughed more, smiled more, felt lighter. And Claire noticed. Suddenly, she looked at me differently, with a hint of uncertainty. Are you really okay with this? She asked one night. I'm perfectly fine, I told her. And for the first time it was the truth. Days went by. I stayed calm, polite, respectful but detached. I didn't beg, didn't bargain, didn't chase after a connection she'd already walked away from. And that alone made her unravel. She had always relied on my persistence, my apologies, my effort, my willingness to patch every crack. But I wasn't that man anymore. The shift rattled her. Then came the moment everything turned upside down. I was out having dinner with Samantha, a coworker who valued my time and genuinely enjoyed my company. Nothing romantic, nothing inappropriate, just two adults sharing food and a laugh. But Claire saw us from across the street, and in a single heartbeat, the control she always clung to vanished. My phone exploded with messages, one after another, each more frantic. Then came the calls. For weeks she had dictated the emotional temperature of our home. But facing the possibility that I had actually moved on emotionally, even if not romantically, sent her spiraling. I didn't answer. Not right away. I let the storm blow through while I remained steady and silent. Her ultimatum meant nothing now. You can't threaten someone with losing what they've already learned to live without. The next day she confronted me in person. Daniel, we need to talk, she said, trying to slip back into that familiar tone she used whenever she wanted to tug on my emotions. I looked at her calmly. I'm listening. She went in circles, concern, frustration, confusion. Every angle she could find to pull me back into the role I'd played for years. But the hook didn't catch anymore. I wasn't angry. I just wasn't hers to manipulate anymore. And that terrified her. In her eyes I finally saw it, the realization, the fear, the cracks forming in her sense of control. Nothing she said could sway me, because I had discovered something she never expected. Peace that didn't depend on her. That night I met with Samantha again. We walked through the quiet streets after dinner, talking easily, laughing at things that felt light instead of heavy. For the first time in years I felt present in my own life. Not tied down, not ashamed, not waiting. Claire saw it too, the ease, the glow, the freedom. By the end of the week the messages stopped. No more checking up on me, no more guilt-soaked questions, no more panic. She finally understood. Her power only existed as long as I needed something from her. And I didn't anymore. I wasn't punishing her. I was simply living without chains, without begging, without hoping for affection that never arrived. Sometimes strength is silent. Sometimes the loudest victory is the one spoken with stillness. Her ultimatum lost all its meaning the moment I realized the truth. I never needed her permission to feel whole. And in that realization, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Freedom. I didn't need her warning. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need the intimacy she dangled like bait. I had reclaimed my self-worth, and that was more intimate than anything she could ever offer.